do I want today? Pizza, pasta. Need to be a bit healthier since Christmas. I've got a bit heavy. Need to start eating some more fruit. I do quite like strawberry. So yes, good morning. It is that time again. It is time to do another fitness face-off. And I've done a bit of a fruity one recently. I've done a citrus one, but I'm looking at one fruit in particular today. And it is, as I just mentioned, strawberry. Now, I've got two fragrances in today's competition. This one is by Lush, so it's their recent body spray that I've just bought. It's called Strawberry Feels Forever. Obviously, big clue in the name, strawberry is the heart of this fragrance. And also this one, which I've done a review of recently, Zara Red Rodeo. Now they've changed this one. They don't do this one anymore, but they do Zara Womo Winter, which my brother's got, which smells absolutely identical to this. And again, the main selling point in the top notes of this fragrance is strawberry. So we're going to review those ones today. We're going to decide which one is the overall winner. If you haven't seen a fitness fragrance face-off before, yes, it's a bit of a mouthful. Essentially, I'm going to do a morning workout. So I'm going to go for a run, walk to the gym, do a gym workout, walk back, all while reviewing these fragrances. And we're going to put them up against each other on 5 categories. So the price / favour money, their versatility, is how much you can use them in different situations, its projections, how much I notice it during my run, and also just walking down to the gym, things like that. We'll do a room spray test later to see how much it fills up the room. We'll look at compliment factor, so do I think which one's the best for compliments essentially, and also longevity. I'll spray my arm before I walk to the gym, 3 hours after, so by the time I've actually got out of the shower there, we'll see which one I detect more. So yeah, we'll go into a little bit more detail now about these two contenders. Let's start with this Lush fragrance. Now, I recently did just a general fitness fragrance review of this one, and I was a bit underwhelmed. When I first had it, or when I first smelt it, I should say, my brother owned it, and I wasn't a huge fan. I just found it was really underwhelming. I think of Lush fragrances as really strong, beast mode type scents, and when you've got a note like strawberry, fruity notes, the more gourmand type notes, I expect them to be a little bit heavier. Didn't find that with this, but it's now time to give it a bit more of a go because it was first impressions. I've now had a chance to wear a little bit more, and I'm hoping today it can stand up in the competition a bit better. Now this one I have reviewed plenty of times, and I did an ultimate fitness fragrance competition at the start of last year, or middle of 2025, and this one won it against some very expensive fragrances. So I think very, very highly of this one. But I want to see today, it's not about me ultimately, it's about you. What do I think would be the best purchase? Getting one of these ones from Zara or one of these from Lush? Because again, it's all opinion, it's all subjective, and opinions can change. My opinion has changed on plenty of fragrances, certainly some of the ones I've owned over there. One called Blue Skies and Fluffy Clouds, a recent Lush release, and maybe this one will change my opinion today as it develops during my workout. So I'm going to apply the fragrances now, and yeah, we'll then get ready to go for our run. Coat is on, so I'm going to spray 5 of each on both sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a little bit on the arms there. And in terms of the smell of this one, wow, it is super strong in the opening, I must admit. It is obviously strawberry heavy. It's not a very natural strawberry. I think it's very hard to get a natural strawberry in fragrances, to be honest. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But just to give you a little bit more info, obviously we're looking at the note of strawberry today, so I won't go into the full breakdown. But it says, sing a sugar spun tale of strawberries and cream as swells of scrumptious vanilla sweep you up in a summer's day dream. That's what you get with this. This is more like a much more like a foodie gourmand, which you get with Lush fragrances. There's much cream in this as it is strawberry. I always think of the tennis at Wimbledon in the summer. You can imagine sitting there with strawberries and cream, and this is what you get with this. It's much sweeter, very, very sweet. Leans certainly more feminine in that case. There's no real masculine edge. Whereas Zara Red Rodeo is a little bit different. Again, strawberry, very much the dominant one. Again, not a natural smell, not at all. I can already tell from the opening, it's not. But this one goes into a much more masculine vibe. This one has things like leather in it. You can definitely detect some pepper or something like that. Adds a little bit of spice. It smells a bit like just a general men's body spray, but with this nice fruity opening from that strawberry. Again, very, very different. That one is much more creamy, gourmand. That one's much more peppery, spicy. But at both of them, at the very top, the first thing you'll detect is that sweet fruity note from that strawberry, albeit both very, very synthetic, I must admit. Now I've sprayed them. So what we're going to do then, we're going to go out for my run now, do the first 2 categories. We're going to look at price / favour for money, how much both fragrances cost. Obviously the price for the Red Rodeo will be Womo Winter, same fragrance, and also its versatility is how much you can use them in different situations. So yeah, let's get out there. Imagine if this was your first day off work in ages and you only have one day. You got that road sweeper just waking you up. It's only 7:05. It'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? Anyway, price slash value for money for the two strawberry phrases. Well, let's start with the Zara one. You're talking about £15 to £20 for Womo Winter, nearer the £15 range on their website. And then for the Lush one, Strawberry Feels Forever, you're talking about £28. It's actually one of their cheaper body sprays, this one, which maybe tells me they don't see this as one of their important sprays. So do I think that's good value for money for both? To be honest, I think both are fine for their price. Look, if you wanted a high-end value for money type fragrance here, a strawberry one, a fruity one, I wouldn't be looking at these two. They smell roughly what I think they're worth, I really do. But I'm going to go straight into it. I'm going to say the winner here for price slash value for money is Zara Red Rodeo, Zara Womo Winter. I'm going to say that for a couple of reasons. Look, again, I go back to it, neither smell natural, so you're not going to stand out in that. And scent quality is something that I actually value high. That's something that I'd rate highly. And if one of them had that slightly higher quality about it, it probably would tilt the balance. And to be honest, if I had to pick one for that, probably the Strawberry Feels Forever. It's a little bit better quality, because I think Lush tend to use slightly more naturals. But there's a lot more complexity going on here in the Womo Winter. There's a little bit more depth. You know, there's certainly woody components. There's certainly, you know, there's leather in it, which is mentioned. And there's definitely this sort of peppery spice as well that you detect, which gives it that masculine vibe. And it's just that little bit more complex in that sense. But what I really like is the strawberry stays prominent. And when you've got heavy notes like leather and vanilla and things like in these fragrances, you tend to find they overpower the strawberry note or the fruity note, certainly over time. But in this fragrance, this one lasts. The strawberry stays throughout the whole fragrance here. Even though it's in the top of the fragrance, the top notes, it's always the heart of the fragrance. And what I like is that's what they wanted. You can tell by the colour of the bottle, obviously being red. That's what they wanted it to be. They wanted it to be this strawberry forward fragrance. And I think they've just done it. And I think it's, you know, it's half the price essentially of the Lush one. Do I think it's half as good? No, I probably think it's twice as good. And for that reason, it's got to win this round. So, first point today goes to the Zara fragrance, Red Rodeo, or now Womo Winter, onto versatility. Okay then, so on to versatility for these two fragrances. How much can you dress them up, dress them down? Different ages, different occasions, different seasons, all those things. Well, I think it's safe to say the more unisex one is the Lush Strawberry Feels Forever. The Zara one, as I mentioned earlier, has obviously got much more leather, much more masculine components. And let's be honest, the Lush one, it does lean more feminine. But where I reviewed it the other day, I said, and something I said I didn't like about it, was the fact that the strawberry wasn't really prominent. And obviously you've got it in the name, Strawberry Feels Forever. And it almost feels like the cream takes over it and tames that strawberry down. But I think in the context of this round and this competition today, that works in its favour, because I think if it was really strong on that strawberry, particularly the note that they've put in it here, it doesn't smell as good quality as I expect from that. It would make it much more juvenile, fruity, feminine girl sort of smell. But it doesn't. That cream makes it more gourmand. And let's be honest, cream, vanilla, all those sort of notes are very popular in men's and women's fragrances. It feels like we're in that gourmand era at the moment with fragrances that smell essentially like food. And look, I'm saying it's not the best quality Lush one, but they do use more quality oils, and I don't think it does smell as synthetic as that Zara fragrance, if I'm being honest as well. You know, they do simplicity well, and I think they've got it right here in that case. Look, I'm not going to dress either up. I don't think either are particularly right today. It's actually not as cold this morning because it's going to rain, and it's not particularly pleasant, this strawberry note, for my workout, but it just feels like that cream just tames it down a bit. And let's be honest, we all like a smell of sort of ice cream, vanillic sort of smells, whatever time of the day, and it's a little bit more cosy. I'd rather wear that one at home as a casual type scent, and I think it's slightly better quality will just make it more suitable for a mature man, a mature woman, and for that reason it's got to win this round. So Lush Strawberry Feels Forever has tied up the competition. When we get back, we will talk about projection and how much I'm noticing it during my run. Blurry, isn't it? so run done. It is now time to spray my room, and then what we'll do in 10 minutes time, I'll come back upstairs and see which fragrance essentially has filled up the room the most. Then we can give a score on projection. Obviously, during my run, I've had the fragrances on. Did I notice them much during my run? I'll mention that while I have my coffee downstairs. But what we'll do, we'll do 3 sprays of that one. Now I'm going to do 5 sprays of Red Rodeo by Zara, just because obviously, as you've just seen, the atomizer is absolutely huge on that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 6. It's probably half as big. And I'm also going to spray my arm. So the arm that's not got my watch on, it's going to have 3 of Red Rodeo. And then the one with my watch on is going to have the Lush fragrance. So my hands are so cold. It's so hard to spray when you've got cold hands. And then essentially in 3 hours time, when I leave the gym, once I've had my shower, I'll smell my arms again to see how much I can still smell them. Then we can give a score on longevity. But let's do projection next. Let's head downstairs. Projection during my run. How much did I notice either fragrance? Well, to be honest, neither of them are really, really strong. Actually, they're quite weak. Again, considering they're strawberry heavy fragrances, I tend to find fruity fragrances, particularly in the opening, are strong. But actually, the one I noticed the most was actually when I stopped once. It's the only time I noticed any fragrance at all. Went to the toilet, and it was Strawberry Feels Forever from Lush. So far, that one is winning. And it might just be because, again, the atomizer, as you saw a minute ago, the spray is a lot bigger. So maybe that is why. But we will find out. We'll head upstairs in a minute once I finish my coffee. And then we'll give a winner for projection. Okay, so in we go. And I must admit, I can smell a fragrance, and it is the one that I noticed more during my run. It is Strawberry Feels Forever by Lush. And maybe it just goes back to the fact it's got that more creamy vibe to it. Look, there's obviously leather in Red Rodeo, but you don't really detect that. As I said, I'm quite surprised how it doesn't really come through. Maybe that's because it's a synthetic leather in it, and it's quite woodsy other than that. It's not really vanillic. It's all about that strawberry, and that's still what gets brought out. But where I think Strawberry Feels Forever does better is that creaminess comes through. And that's a bit more of a sticky note. And for that reason, it's definitely run this round. So we're going to walk to the gym now, and then we'll talk about compliment factor on the way. Which one do I think is better when it comes to getting compliments? Honestly, I felt really rough last 2 days, but I'm feeling so much more energised. I feel so much better. It's only when you've sort of been ill that you realise actually how nice it is to feel well again. And I certainly do. And of course, I'll feel even better if I get a compliment on these fragrances at the gym today. But out of the 2 fragrances, which one do I think is the better compliment getter? Which one do I think has got the greater compliment factor to it? Now, if we looked at some of the rounds we've obviously spoken about earlier, just based on the fact it's more unisex and the projection on the fragrance is greater, you'd think Lush Strawberry Feels Forever might just be the one that's better. However, I don't think it's going to win this round for me, and I say that just for a couple of reasons. Look, Zara Red Rodeo's no doubt got a bit more complexity, which we've mentioned as well. You know, with those leather nuances, the woody nuances. And it smells more like a fragrance. Look, Lush, big selling points, they do amazing, strong, gourmand type fragrances. And let's be honest, gourmand fragrances are super popular. But I do think this one, it almost does smell like someone could be eating strawberries and cream a little bit. And a few of their fragrances are a little bit like that. You know, they've got the Good Times roll, which people have said before, someone's baking cookies in here. But I knew it was my fragrance. Whereas with the Zara Red Rodeo one, you know if you get a compliment on this, it's going to be someone complimenting you knowing it's a fragrance. And look, that's not a knock on Lush, but what I would say is when I consider the other gourmands, which obviously are Lush's selling point, they're a bit better than this one. As I said, I've been a bit underwhelmed with this one. So yes, it may be stronger. Yes, it's definitely stronger. Yes, it's probably potentially a more mass-pleasing smell than Zara Red Rodeo. But compared to what you can get from Lush for the same price as this one, I think this one will underwhelm you. So it's kind of more expectations for me. And this is still a very good scent from Zara. It's got a bit more, you know, yes, it's more of a masculine scent, but that extra complexity for me, I just feel like you'll get a better compliment with that one in general. And for that reason, I'm going to give it the round here. So it makes it 2-2 as well. It makes it a more exciting competition. Of course, if I get any at the gym today and someone can tell me which one it is, they'll be the overall winner. But let's be honest, nobody's going to compliment me. They never do they? Probably because I put my headphones in and keep my head down. Time to test. The rain has started. It certainly doesn't feel like a day you'd be eating strawberries and cream, so we'll just have to have it in a fragrance, won't we? So longevity, it's about 10 past 12. Let's see what we can detect. Well, I'll tell you what, both of them are doing really, really well on longevity. We're talking about 3 hours ago I applied these fragrances. And I mean, Zara Red Rodeo, it almost just smells like I've just put it back on. And to be honest, even the Lush one, I think if it was a bit stronger on the strawberry here, probably would detect it more. But again, that cream's taken that edge off the strawberry note in general. But then that Zara Red Rodeo one, that is super strong. And I've said this before, this one really surprised me because neither of them do that well on projection. And this is very strange. When you think of like fruity notes, I tend to think they start really well on projection. And it's the longevity where they wear off. They're strong for an hour and they wear off. These seem to get stronger and stronger. You wouldn't need to reapply either. And I'll be honest, I think Strawberry Feels Forever, when I reviewed it the other day, I said it wasn't particularly strong. And I just think maybe, because I'd only just sprayed it, maybe the fragrance just needed to sort of develop a little bit more, you know. And as you get further into the fragrance, sometimes I always think the atomizers don't spray as well initially, although probably making excuses for it, but it's certainly performing today. It's done absolutely fine. But Red Rodeo, Zara Red Rodeo, or Womo Winter as it is now, has definitely won this round. That's about 95% strong when I applied it. And the other one, probably Lush, is probably about 80%. So you're talking very high marks here for both. And they normally win a round in its own right. But yeah, Zara has edged it to that. I feel very harsh doing that to the Lush fragrance, but I've got an idea. As it's 3-2, because Zara's currently winning, when we get back, why don't we do a spray off and see if Strawberry Feels Forever can grab a draw. So we'll get back. I need to go and get my umbrella out of my bag, and yeah, then we can give my overall thoughts when we do that. We are back. So I did promise a spray off. We are going to do a spray off. So we have got Strawberry Feels Forever against Zara Red Rodeo. Now this one has obviously won today's competition 3-2, but if this one wins the spray off, we're going to say it is a draw. So here we go. Just take the lids off. Now I'm going to spray twice, just so I don't get it all over the computer. I did this the other week, managed to get everything over the floor, and it was a mess. So I'm going to lean back a bit. 3, 2, 1. And it's definitely a draw because that cream is coming through. So yes, to be honest with you though today, I think with these fragrances, it is really what you like. When I look at this, that if you're a man, a young sort of male, teenager, early 20s, even maybe pushing into your early 30s, I think Zara Red Rodeo is great. It's definitely got a bit more depth about it, a little bit more leather, a bit spicier, a bit heavier, and it is super strong. It's really got me through the day today. You know, it's one of those, again, it doesn't really project, but the longevity on this, it will get you through the day, and it's super, super strong. I'm really surprised at how much that's lasted. This one's growing on me. Again, it is a unisex fragrance. It's definitely more feminine though, and if you prefer that more gourmand, creamy type vibe, more like a dessert, then this is it. This is more of a fragrance with a bit more of a masculine edge. This is more of a gourmand type fragrance, more in the Lush mould. It's not my favourite from Lush. I think that their gourmands better than this one. But if you like that note of strawberry and you want that note of strawberry with that cream in the background, not really too vanillic, but it is like much more of a cream, like a whipped cream, then this is great as well. It's a good fragrance. It's just not a great fragrance in my opinion. And I don't think it's as heavy on the strawberry as Red Rodeo. But yeah, that one ticks a lot of boxes as well. Look, I'm very happy to have them both in my collection. I think they're great. I think you can use them both for different situations. You can certainly dress this one up more. This one much more casually and a little bit more cozy on a day like today where it's a bit wet outside and you just want to sit at home and watch a film. This one would definitely be better, and that fits more of that Lush mould. So yeah, that is everything with today. I've got, though, another parcel coming. A Lush delivery is coming today, and I'm getting some of their collaboration fragrances. So I'm getting one called, I think it's called Mossy Bottom. Yes, Mossy Bottom. And I think, oh, there's another one that I'm getting as well, which is, again, in that, I think it's Wicked, the film. So yeah, really looking forward to trying them. Can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they are like, because I've never had one of their collaboration fragrances. So over the next few days, you will see those fitness fragrance reviews for those. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you later.